Hi everyone. Today I want to share with you about the current energies, and there are so many layers when it comes to the astrology right now, yet at the same time there is this underlying theme of energy that is moving through the collective, and it is really about discerning how we want to move forward. It's really about releasing the old paradigm once and for all, because we are collectively going through a tower moment, and it's not just one, it is many. So in the tarot, the tower is the card where there is the towers and people are falling out of the building, and it's like the message that I get from this card really is to let go and let God, to let go and let the universe. We, in order to move forward into a new way of being, we really do require letting go of everything that we're clinging to from the past. You know, the only way we can live in the present moment is to be free of the past, to not cling to the ideas, to not cling to the experiences and the memories. And yet it is still a work in progress because we hold the memories in our body, in our physical body. So in order to truly let them go, it's not a mental game. Yes, our mind is the command center for our body, right? So we think a thought and it creates a feeling, and then the feeling creates another thought, and it affirms and verifies and confirms the thought and the feeling, the thought and the feeling, and then it just becomes a new way of being. So yes, our mind is required to have the strength to overcome itself, meaning to let go of the old ways of thinking, because if we're stuck in a pattern of thought that is holding us hostage to the past, we will always be stuck in that way of being. We will always be stuck in that pattern. At the same time, if we don't address our physical body and the energy and emotions that are stored in it from those past memories, we are only working with one part of the equation, and it truly will not be liberated and released out of our system. So somatic practices are very important at this time. And that's a very big word that is out there right now, somatic practices, right? It became kind of like a trending word over the last, I don't know, couple years. But it's really like, what are we feeling? What are we sensing in our body? What are we allowing ourselves to move through? And through these specific practices where we are moving our body, breathing into areas of our body, starting to release the tension through the breath, through the movement, and through active intention of what we are doing. All of this is going to assist us to move into that next dimension of being, because every time we release the energy and the emotions that are stored in our body, it frees more energy up in our body, and it opens us into a more expanded awareness of where we are in our life. And patterns will continue to show up. They will continue to, some people like to call them tests, right? I'm being tested by the universe. This showed up again. Am I going to take the same path, or did I learn from the last previous mistake that I made, right? And a mistake is only, taking a step and repeating it. And if you repeat it again, of course, there's a mistake there, but we're all here to make mistakes. We're all here to have experiences without the judgment of it being something negative, right? So yes, we will have experiences that show up again and again, as if you want to call them tests, you can, but also to look at it to see how far we have come, to see and feel and acknowledge our growth and our expansion, and how much we have already done in this realm of healing and empowerment and expansion. So if you're new to my channel, that was a very long intro. Sometimes I just allow whatever to flow to come through me. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Carolyn Marie Yakopich. I am a spiritual mentor and leadership mentor, and I love working with the energies and, observing what it is I'm experiencing in my own life, and being open to hear from those that I work with and my friends and, people that are around me, just observing and seeing like what is going on, energetically. So we really are supported this year to step into our greatness. We truly are. We are in this, I'm sure you've heard of it, the year of the fire horse, right? Fire transmutes energy. It helps us to alchemize the frequencies that are no longer in alignment, and then to rebirth into something new and something bold, right? And courageous and from the heart. So we're really allowing ourselves this year to step into that greatness by recognizing our worth. So our worth, when we think of that, we can look at me as a separate entity, and not entity with any attachment to a negative or a positive, right? But as a separate individual. Let me just change the wording on that, because entities is a whole other, realm of discussion. So as a separate individual, I can look at my self-worth and the stories I have around my self-worth, and, how I hold myself back, how I doubt myself, how I feel insecure about something. So there is that aspect of self-worth when I look at myself as a separate individual from the whole, from the all that is. And when I look at what true self-worth is, it is when I recognize that I am a divine spark of creation, that I have come from the universal blueprint. I have come from a creation of the divine, right? And you, whatever the name that resonates with you, God, goddess, creation, the universe, source energy, right? Some of us really recognize our origins as star seeds and our star lineage and our galactic family and all of this. And it's really about coming back to that connection. Really, our worth comes down to how much we see divinity within ourselves. And I know I've said it in so many videos, but the one quote that I love, if we can't see God in all, we can't see God at all. If we don't see God in all, we don't see God in all. And so I might have said that last one wrong, but you get the gist of it. Let me go back to it. So let's switch that up with the divine. If we can't see the divine in all, we can't see the divine at all, right? So that includes us. That includes us as a spark of divine creation. Our spirit is forever connected in to the divine blueprint, to the divine mind. And our soul is here to have an experience. Our soul is here to grow, to learn, to expand, to express. And when we look at ourselves as an aspect of the divine, we are whole, perfect, and complete. Always. Always, always, always. Yet when we separate ourselves from that inner knowing, from that remembrance, we start to experience things like lack and fear and disease. And so the invitation for this year is a 10-year numerologically, a universal 10, and a 10 is about your royal courage and radiance. And your royal courage and radiance is your magnetism that occurs when you know your truth. You know your truth standing in your power as a divine co-creator. Knowing that you are not separate, that you are unified with that divine energy. And then that is a part of you that runs through you, that is here to be expressed. And you have your unique expression of your gifts, your abilities, your creative processes that are here to be birthed on the planet at this time. And it is no mistake that you are here at this most pivotal time on the planet, where we are experiencing the deprogramming, the destruction, the dismantling of all of the old systems. And this is a world stage experience, yet it is also an individual experience. It's an invitation for us to look at the systems that we've had in our life, the programs that we've been playing out, right? The record that has been on repeat, and to start to reprogram and to start to align with the knowingness of connection and of unity and divinity that runs through us. And the more that we can focus our energy, awareness, and attention on the divine within us, the more that we are going to show up in the most aligned way. So we are in a new month. It's the month of March, the third month, right? That we all, and I know there's layers I've talked about too when it comes to numerology. And if you look at, the beginning of the year starting in March at the equinox, then you could say that, the numbers of the month are changing. But when we look at collectively, the Gregorian calendar came into play, and we all write January as the first month, February as the second, March as the third. So collectively, the energy and the focus is on the 3 at this time. And 3 is all about creation. If you think about the first form of creation, it is when we have 3 dots that can connect into a triangle, right? You have 1 dot, it's the seed. The second dot, it is the duality, and also it is the connection between 2 beings. We can look at it, masculine, feminine energy. And then when you connect the third, the divine child has been birthed to create the first form. So 3 is all about creation. 3 also represents our positive mind, and our positive mind will see opportunities. Our positive mind will be able to know when we can trust and move forward. 3 is also a very active energy, right? If we look at the chakra system, the main chakras running up and down the spine, the 3rd chakra. And this is our power center. It's our personal power. It's our willpower to move forward. So we're currently experiencing this month, this shift in this energy where our willpower and our discipline and our determination to be the best version of who we are is really going to help us to move forward and to start to really take action in the most aligned way once spring comes, because spring is the time. It is the beginning of the astrological new year. It is the beginning of the wheel of the year energy, where we are opening and blossoming and taking action with our energy. And this is when Aries season comes in, and Aries is energy. It's ruled by Mars. Mars is the god of war, and also it is the energy of right action. So we could have this inner battle and this inner turbulence that could happen. Yet if we focus on truth of being whole, perfect, and complete as a creation of the divine expressed in physical form, spirit and matter coming together in unification to be the best expression, the highest, greatest expression of who we can be here on earth, then we are truly going to move in the most aligned way. And this is really a time to still hold that reflective nature. Be inward. Be inward with our intentions before taking the action. Really coming into the alignment before jumping. pause before we push. And then as spring comes and the energy starts to open, we're ready. We are ready. So we are also today in an eclipse energy. And the eclipse is a wild card. You know, this is the second eclipse of this season, and so powerful. It's the 3-3, right, today. So we're amplifying that 3 energy today of creation, and it's like, what are we focusing on? Right? The positive mind can focus on those opportunities, and because duality exists, there can be the opposite that happens where we get pulled into negative thought processes, self-doubt, insecurity. And it's really about what I was saying at the beginning, commanding the mind. And how do we command the mind, right? Like, meditation is a way to still the monkey mind and those fluctuations of the mind. The more that we can come into presence, the more we create a gap between the thoughts, that space. And in that space is when our intuition lands. We create this opening within us to receive. And that is part of holding the feminine energy. We all have feminine energy in us. We all have masculine energy in us. It's one of the universal principles. The law of gender, giving and receiving and then taking action, right? Receiving the intuition. And then the masculine energy takes the action. And that action step from that receiving intuitively is the most aligned action to take. So we are really at this pivotal time. And these eclipse energies are going to continue to unfold and unravel and impact us over the next 6 months until the next eclipse season. And so we've been working now with the energy of Virgo coming in this eclipse. It's a full moon. It's about release. It's about letting go. Virgo is having structure. And it is asking us, what structures can we let go of now that are not serving us? And what new structures can we implement in our life that will strengthen who we are in our highest expression? So we can look at the daily rituals that we have, what we are consuming. So Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Mercury rules our mind and thoughts, right? So what are we allowing in? What are we watching on our screens? What are we taking in? Also communication. Mercury is communication. So what are we speaking into being? Are we complaining about the state of the world? Are we putting on our armor and fighting about what's going on in the world without actually looking internally and seeing that there may be something internal that we are meant to work on right now, to clean up, to clear out, to release, to come back to a state of peace, love, and joy? This time on the planet is not easy. We are going to keep seeing things happening that are going to shock our systems. And it's truly about coming back into the most regulated state. Because each one of us is here with a soul mission. And if you feel that call to be an example, a light bringer on earth, it is up to you. It is up to us to hold that higher frequency, to hold that willpower, that discipline of focusing on the divine. And when we become that emanation, that expression, when we create instead of destruct, and we hold that energy and embody that frequency of divinity within us, we become a lighthouse for others. And it also is going to shift the collective. That is why it is so important to continue to do the inner work, to continue to move through what is coming up, to feel, to express, to release, to expand, to be present with what is. And if what is a story, is a program that you recognize is not in service to the greatest good, for your greater good and the greater good of all, that is a message for you that this is what is meant to be worked on at this moment in time. And as we clean up our own inner and outer energy, as we clean up everything within us and clear our consciousness, we become pure vessels, pure channels. And this is divine co-creation. This is how the 144,000 hold that frequency on the planet, unwavering, without faltering back, without losing our way. And it's okay. It's okay if you're not there yet, right? We're not there yet. I'm not there yet. I have long moments of being in this full-on expansive state, and then the contraction happens and there's something else to release, right? And the more that we can let go of the old to really welcome in the new, because the new energy is here. It is here already. It is waiting for us to step through the pillars of the temple, step in through the gateway. And when we come through into that temple, we're held and embraced in a new world that is also simultaneously on the planet at this time. We have a choice. We have a choice to plug into the old, to the destruction, to everything that is shocking our systems, or we have a choice to plug into the new, to hold the higher vision, to align ourselves with God, Goddess, all that is, the universe, our highest divine expression. We have a choice. And we're not meant to bury our heads in the sand and pretend like nothing's happening and just spiritual bypass everything, right? That is not the point. The point is there are two timelines that are occurring on the planet right now. And we truly have a choice to live in one or the other. And so the inner work is of utmost importance right now, so that we can start to find each other, work with each other, build and create new systems, new ways of living with each other. And it's going to take time. Time, yes, does not exist. This is something I also love talking about. We can also merge and move into that space beyond time, right? But it will take, in our human awareness, time. You know, it's not like overnight we're going to see the entire world stage change. However, what will not take time if we choose it is to see our entire world change, because it's about what we are focusing on. what we are giving our attention to, what we are choosing to plug into. Okay, this feels complete. Thank you so much for being here with me on this journey. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I will be back with more content very soon. Thank you again, and sending my love and blessings on this most powerful eclipse day.